All right, welcome back. Black Voters Matter podcast. Again, the podcast so new, it doesn't have a name yet. And people see, me and LaTosha a lot, but Black Voters Matter isn't just us, right? It's a whole organization, over 60 staff, intergenerational, a lot of diversity. And so we wanted to open up the conversation and bring on two of our critical team members and just get their reflections on like where we're at and what's in store for the year. And so I'm gonna start it off over here with Miss Venkayla, who is our communications director. What's going on?
I'm feeling good right now in this moment. Obviously, towards the end of last year, I was a little bit conflicted about how I felt. But right now, I still don't know how I feel and where I am. It's been a lot of emotions, not just because of the election results, but also the work that we did and how hard we worked. I really think that this We Fight Back campaign was a very critical, in-depth campaign. I think this is the hardest that BVM has ever went for a national campaign, from the ads, the field outreach, everything that we did on the ground. So I was definitely disappointed. This is the first time I actually cried over results when it came to an election. And it was mainly because us driving through different communities on our bus and just seeing the Black folks come out of their house and just screaming the slogan of our campaign back to us, which is We Fight Back, how happy they were, how energized they were. I didn't know how they felt once they saw the results and how they felt in that moment. And I know that us as an organization and me, myself, just as a person, I couldn't do anything about it. So that really hurt a lot to see them so happy and knowing that people are very crushed right now. So right now I'm still going through my emotions, trying to figure out what to do in this new year. But I can honestly say, as a comms director, I don't know what the messaging is going to be for Black folks for 2025. And I'm at the point where I don't want to tell people to reimagine because it's kind of like how long do we have to reimagine until that imagination becomes reality? So it's kind of I'm exhausted.
You're tired.
Yeah.
You're tired. We will say to you, Venkayla, in terms of messaging, you were on top of it. And so just thank you for bringing your brilliance and all that you brought to bear.
You.
And also, we'll talk about it later, but listen, you were already critical of this whole process, and we saw you just even transform in terms of your own. And I want later on, we would love to hear from you talking about that, of how you were at one stage and then you got vested, and then to have this to happen, like how that's impacted you.
I'm Sabre, I'm the senior logistics manager, and I'm kind of in the same space, but more so in a transformative space where I'm not really looking to figure out where we're going and more so just kind of focused on where we're at as people, not really focused on politics, because it's today where we're at in America, it's like we're judging everybody off of money. We say America is the best country because of the gross domestic product, but I'm just looking at life, being a father, and experiencing people and communities as far as how can I experience it, can I get some good food, can I be treated with respect? And that's just the small things of civilization that I feel like we're getting away from, where it's we're looking at people and say, oh, well, how much money do you have? Well, I'm going to treat you nicely. Or you don't have anything. And I feel like at the end of the election, everybody was just well, this is what we wanted. And it's kind of in the same space of you can't hate Black people and claim to love America, just like I can't hate somebody in my family and claim to love my daughter. You know what I'm saying? It's I have to figure out, it might not be the most perfect relationship. It might not be the most monumental relationship that changes somebody, but I have to find a way to express my love for them and my compassion for them and my morality for them, even if I don't rock with them, even if I don't like them. And when I look at America, it's almost like I'm looking at, as far as white people go, at children, where Black people, we've been blessed to experience humanity as well as this country to the deepest parts. The level of emotion and level of compassion and the level of passion that we have for being Americans is unprecedented to me and unparalleled. So I'm in a space where I'm just allowing that to transform me now, where it's cool for me to be passionate about, politics. It's cool for me to be passionate about love. It's cool for me to be passionate about parenting. I know that it's not the most ideal situation right now, but I understand that what's coming out of this is something greater. So I'm just kind of taking the time to be, because I'm frustrated as hell. I'm frustrated with people who didn't come out to vote. I'm frustrated with people who looked us in the face and said, oh, we're not going to do this. And they turned around and did it. And it's just I'm in a space of where I'm just letting truth and honesty just kind of drive me and just be. So I'm just trying to take it, you know.
You know, Venkayla, as you were talking, you said, and we're hearing a lot of people say that. We actually said it even earlier. You said, I'm tired.
Yeah.
And so I want to go a little bit deeper into that, because I think that's the one consistent message I'm hearing. Everybody's like, we just damn tired, right? And so I want to go behind that. When you say you tired, what do you mean?
I think I'm just tired of trying to figure out what the solution is. I feel like every year there's folks that tell us to get out and vote. They educate us on the issues. We see all these ads. We have all these conversations. We get these text messages, these phone calls, these people knocking on doors and telling us things are going to change, and it doesn't. So I'm the type of person that I want to see change and I want to feel it. And when I don't see it and I don't feel it, it steers me away from voting. Going back to what you mentioned earlier, at the beginning of 2024, I was dead set, I am not voting. And it was simply because I just felt like nothing will change. And I felt like I'm not being heard as a person. So when I had that conversation with you all, I believe it was on a call that we had, I was nervous to say it because I thought y'all would be like, you the comms director, you don't even want to vote, that don't make no sense. But I wanted to be honest about how I felt in that moment and how I felt about the options that I had. And I wanted to have that open dialogue with you all. So I do appreciate that you all really approached that conversation with a lot of care, a lot of honesty, and making me understand kind of like the timeline of different things and different issues and different political figures. So I was happy about that. But once I really got into the We Fight Back campaign, really organizing on the ground and really understanding how the local issues, the state issues, and how the bigger picture, I would say, it really helped me understand the importance of voting. So I remember when I went to the poll, I voted early, and I texted both of you.
Ooh, we voted early.
I voted early. So I was very happy about that, and I was very happy to make an impact. But when I say that I'm tired, I'm just tired of us getting it wrong. Well, not saying black people getting it wrong, but I just never feel like I get what I want when I head to the polls. So I'm just tired of taking the same action and getting the same disappointment. So I want to figure out for myself, and I want to figure out for black people as a whole, what changes can we make to make something else happen? Because we say voting is not the only tool. I need to know what else is in the toolbox.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
And what you said is what we, it's what we tell people a lot of times when we say that we, our staff, this organization, we're not exempt from the issues that our community faces and the feelings that our community has. So, like what you just said, I'm tired of getting it wrong, of us collectively getting it wrong, of doing the same thing over and over. That's the same thing. I know y'all hear it all the time. I know you hear it because you on the bus a lot, right? That's the same thing that we hear in the community. So, like, you're feeling the same things that the folks that we're dealing with in the streets, on the bus tours and all that are feeling. How does that inform the work that you do?
I would definitely say with communications, I really try to make information very accessible and digestible. I remember one time we were on the ground in Georgia, and I heard someone scream out, "I don't do politics." I don't want to just give them a simple message, well, politics is going to do you, because that's not, I don't think that's a very educational response. That's not something that's going to get them anywhere. So I do want to have those important conversations of starting even from the state level or the local level, like your mayor, your city council, how those people that you elect into office can affect those certain issues, from just potholes, water, light bills, whatever the case may be. Just making that information accessible and digestible for folks is really important to me. But also having those honest conversations. So when people say they're not interested, they're tired, I feel that same way too.
That's right.
I'm open to that conversation. I'm never going to tell someone, well, if you vote, you don't matter. If you don't vote, you don't matter. Or vote or die, or any of that type of messaging that does not work for me. I always want to approach conversations from a very open and vulnerable space and really hear people out before I respond. And that's one of the things I like working with Black Voters Matter, is just making sure that we have those accessible and digestible conversations with folks and really making them feel like they're heard instead of us just talking at them 24/7.
So since we talking about be tired, I heard you say, brother, that you tired. Sure. And so we know that in this, even in this last election cycle, that there was a whole lot of conversation about young black men and what young black men were going to do. And I'm just wondering where did that land with you? And when you say you tired, what are you really tired of?
I think it's similar to what Venkayla is saying, where it's like we're more so just frustrated with what we've been presented as young people, or what society and what life is supposed to look like, and then what we're getting back in real time, where it's like we all on the ground, everybody's sitting right here, we really in the street. So when it's like a hurricane relief or there's something going on, somebody gets elected and they pass a law that directly impacts our community, because what people don't understand from the outside looking in is a lot of people who are privileged, specifically white folks, politics is a hobby for them. The law is a hobby for them. All these things are like the white man who bargained off all of these young black bodies to the judicial system for $20 million. He got pardoned recently, and they found out he was on house arrest. So a lot of times when these laws are impacting us and we go into these places, we privileged, we living good, but it's like we seeing our people in real time, and I can't say that don't emotionally impact me. When we went to New Orleans and we saw that older sister who had passed away in her own house, and a tree fell on it, and they hadn't done nothing. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't went and seen her, nothing. And we seen that over and over and over just as people for generations, where it's like, we can't say that we're not tired, but of course we're gonna continue to fight, but it's just so...
But you're tired.
It's a troubling place to be when it's like, it feels like your people, everybody got a plan for us but us. You know what I'm saying? And it's a quote that I like where he just goes on about how like it's a tough place to be when everybody has a plan for you but you, and everybody's taking advantage of you but you. And black people, we built this country. And it's like we're getting nothing in return, less than nothing at times. And it's just, it's a frustrating place to be.
We say we tired too. What you mean, Cliff, when you say you tired?
But everything, ditto to what they've said, tired. Sometimes I mean physically tired,
right?
Just going up and down those stairs on the bus ain't as easy as it used to be.
The knees ain't working like they used to.
It's more than a notion now. And but sometimes it's just like emotionally tired. Sometimes it's spiritually tired. Sometimes it's tired, and I'd love to hear what y'all think about this. Sometimes it's tired, like a lot of people, we talked about this earlier, look at us to be like a leading force, or like to help carry the message of like black love and black joy, which we do gladly, right? But that takes a lot. That wears on you. And then in moments like this, when you're tired and frustrated or mad, it's hard to carry that, to be the torchbearer for black joy when you feeling a whole bunch of stuff. And so y'all, as somebody who helps communicate our message, as somebody who's on the bus, right? Do y'all feel that, cause like y'all said, y'all are tired, but y'all are the ones that go out into community or craft our message, and people look at y'all. I mean, they look to us like for leadership or whatever, but they also look at y'all because y'all are representing the organization. Do you ever feel that I'm having to lead in a moment where right now I need to be lifted up?
I would say all the time. There was one moment on the bus during 2024 where we were like crafting social media copy. And I was like, I'm tired of writing this. Like, I don't even feel this anymore. It's not hitting me anymore. Like, I'm mentally...
What was the issue that was it voting? Was it police violence? I think
it was mainly just voting and just trying to encourage people why they should get out and vote. And I'm like, I'm not even feeling this myself to even type this, but I have to send it out. But it's not hitting me. And if it's not hitting me, and if it's not hitting my team, I don't think it's going to hit anybody else. So that was definitely a moment where I just had to sit down and just sit back and just say, I need a second. So I just sat in the back of the bus for like an hour. There was no messaging I could craft in that moment to make people feel encouraged.
Right.
And I think it's not just with voting. I think it's with any issue, whether it's police violence, whether it's immigration, whether it's housing, whatever the case may be. I feel like we can talk about action items. We can talk about things to uplift the community. But sometimes I don't feel like what I communicate is really going to happen for people. And I get to the point where I don't want to lie to people. Like, if you do this, we can get this, and that's not necessarily true. So I think I'm just trying to figure out for myself what's going to be the moment that black people get what they deserve. Like, or are we going to keep having to fight and organize and march? Or is there going to be a time where we can just actually rest?
Let's think about our own experience. When you've gone through something really, really traumatic, Do you want people talking to you?
No.
Right. So, and I'm saying that because sometimes the gift is creating a space.
Yeah.
Like for black folks, I mean, part of even for us with the bus tours and using music, that ain't to entertain people. Sometimes that's just giving people space to feel connected. Like part of everybody's tired of the electric slide. All of us. It's the bus stop, the electric slide. They keep calling something else. Everybody's tired of it, but we love it. Why? Yeah. Because what it does is it makes us feel connected. We feel unified. There's something about all of us being in the same line at the wedding or at the birthday party. We're doing it. It ain't so much about the dance. The dance ain't all that deep. It is something that is like creating kind of like this collective space. And so, just in this moment, what do you need? What do we need? Maybe it's not what we communicate. Yeah. Maybe it's how we communicate. Maybe it is just in the listening. Because what I think was really powerful, which is part of why we wanted you all to hear from you all, I think in this moment it's good for us to listen to each other. Mm-hmm. Like to listen what we really feeling, not what we supposed to say. But like Cliff said, I'm black and mad. Yeah. You like, I'm tired. You like, I'm trying to figure out what I need to do to go to the next phase. Mm-hmm. I think something about acknowledging that in all of us, it's kind of like the electric slide. Like we be like, oh, okay, we all feeling that. Mm-hmm. And so I just wonder, as I'm thinking about this year going forward, right? And in this moment, as you're thinking, as a leader, as someone who's been key and critical as part of this work, what are you hearing, like in your space, with your families, with your friends? What are you hearing right now in your circles?
A lot of people are content where it's like, okay, well, this is what I thought was going to happen. Where that's the more, I wouldn't call it demoralizing, but it does make me feel like, frustration, because we spend our entire lives, and I draw a lot of inspiration from y'all, especially when we're on that bus, where I've seen y'all back when we had them Earth, Wind, and Fire tours, or we out for 20 hours, and by the end of the day, y'all exhausted, and y'all on Zoom on the bus, like people don't know y'all are working while we moving around and doing this, and I still see y'all get excited for the people who, inadvertently may kind of push us to the wayside, where black, like you're talking about, hey man, we got a caravan out here, black dude, listen, I don't do politics. And we're like, it does kind of frustrate me, because now on the back end, that same brother who may be impacted where his light bill through the roof, he gonna come to Venkayla and say, hey, I remember you said this to me. And a lot of times it's not too late, it's just more frustrating to have to go back and say, okay, this is what I was talking to you about before it got hard.
Yeah, that's real.
Now it's hard. Yeah. We're gonna get through it, but it's like, now it's way harder.
Right.
And so that's where I think with my family and my friends in the circles where everybody's just like, oh yeah, well, so what's next? And I'm like, bruh, we don't know until we can kind of get to the door, but we knew what was coming, because it wasn't going to be easy either way. Right. But now it's just like, okay, we have to plan now. Like if you're in that space, you understand we're a lot more reactive with legislation than we can be proactive. We're not putting $275 million into a campaign, so we can't be as proactive as we like to be. So now we're trying to be proactive with our people, and it's a lot more difficult.
It's a lot more difficult. And just I'm thinking of you as, I know you're communications director, but step back, you also have to be a black woman in the South.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so kind of the question that Cliff asked in an earlier episode, just as a sister, what are you feeling now, and what's your conversation? Like, what's your conversation with your friends and other black women right now?
I think it's always having to not only just save the world, but always being the middleman. So even with my family, it's kind of like, okay, all these voters were in the middle, and then mom and dad, Democrat, Republican, they're just playing with our lives or just toying with our lives. And I feel like that's where we're at right now. I think with black women and in the spaces I'm at with my friends who are organizers in Atlanta, it's still that same exhaustion, that same expectation that we have to show up and show out again in 2025, but also wanting to forget everything and just rest, but knowing that we can't forget everything and just rest, because stuff is still going to happen whether we want it to or not. So just trying to be ready and be prepared mentally, physically, and emotionally to respond to whatever is going to happen in 2025. So just trying to prepare for that.
What's grounding you right now? What's keeping you, because you here, you getting your work done, you keep showing up, you say you're tired, but you keep showing up, you keep doing amazing work, you keep getting up every day. Like, really, what's driving you right now?
I think what's driving me right now, and I say this in a lot of spaces that I'm in, I know that a better world is possible. We just haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
And I think that's really what's grounding me, what's driving me. Even though a lot of obstacles may come, which they have, and they will continue to do so, just knowing that something better is possible for all of us really keeps me to continue to do this work.
And how are you taking care of yourself? What does that look like right now?
I think setting clear boundaries with my personal life and movement work.
Okay.
Therapy.
Okay.
And as y'all know, I love combat sports. So that's gonna keep me grounded.
So fighting.
So that's gonna keep me grounded. Okay. But definitely I would say that therapy and those boundaries.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Sabre, what about you? Like when you think about kind of this moment?
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm probably the least grounded and the least driven that I swear. In my whole life.
That's real.
In my whole life, where it's just like my daughter is like my inspiration right now.
Okay.
Man, where it's like she just.
How old is she? Ooh, introduce us to your daughter. How old is she?
She's about to be 2.
All right. Ooh, them terrific twos.
Yeah, she's amazing. So just being able to be at peace and just kind of forget everything sometimes, like especially while we were out, it was just like we were sitting down one day and just coloring. Like she can't say like drawing, but she'll say colors, Dada, and so we'll sit down and color. And it's just times where she'll just do something so insignificant, like just look at me and just smile and give me a hug. And it just made me realize, like, we're at a place in humanity because of what people have said. And she don't care about that. Like, children don't care if you had a bad day. I could have the worst day at work. I come home, she might give me a hug, chill. She might throw something at me.
With them coloring crayons.
Exactly. And it's just like, at our very essence, none of this really matters, like how we're trying to make ourselves more important than others. And I'm not talking about us, I'm talking about a specific group of people that I'm trying not to highlight. But none of that matters when I'm with her, man. And that's kind of what I want to get back to, where the things that I do, where I'm passionate about it, truly passionate. Like I'm blessed to be in this work, and I've been passionate about my people since I was young. And so to be able to be here now, I kind of focus on work and I focus on my child. And then I go to the gym, I read, just like a lot of different things, everyday things to do, just to kind of keep my mind from being so, we got to do this now, because we all know, like, change doesn't happen overnight. Like right now in society, we got this change your life overnight. Right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wake up at 2 a.m. and go to sleep at midnight. It's like that reality don't exist for me. Right. I dream of having my daughter on the coast or something, or in the mountains or something, and just let her be in her space, you know, just be in whatever she's passionate about and create, whether she want to be an artist or make music or be an activist. Like, I don't want to push nothing on her. And I think that's where I want to get to with my own personal self.
So you say that you're probably the least grounded you've ever been. But it sounds like
it sounds a little bit
with your daughter, you might be the most grounded.
I know that's right.
That's true.
I know that's right.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I am very, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I'm so frustrated right now.
Right.
Like, in my personal life and politics, like, I've never been this frustrated. But like you said, I didn't think about it.
Because there's a calmness. As you're talking about your daughter, like, I'm hearing, like, you were anchored. Like, there's a calmness there.
She's 1,000%.
So there's a calmness. And so I'm, like, even for you, how are you, is there something that you are doing for yourself to keep yourself in this space, kind of like in this mind space?
You're getting them crayons.
There's some color in there. There's some crayons.
If there's anything I could point to, it'll be that, like, disc unplugging. Because I'm not kidding when I say, like, from when I land and go and pick her up, everyone's problems becomes my problems. And just like y'all in y'all personal life, like, people they don't get to see that side of us, where it's like they expect y'all to be on Zoom or in person, smiling with a sign and a book. They don't know if, you know,
that's right,
somebody had a problem with your family, or something happened where, you know, after this you got to get on a flight and go take care of something, or you got into an argument with your mom about something, where it's just like, so I'm just kind of in a space where I'm like, man, I know the good things that are taking place in my life, and they completely outweigh the bad. So I try not to just get so caught up like, man, I had a rough day. It's just like, man, it's just a day. Like, it's not so monumental. Like, I don't let it allow my whole essence and my whole spirit and how I'm treating people. I don't turn around and lash out. So it's just like, I really got that from y'all. Like, just being like, I've seen y'all deal with so much in the field and outside of it, and just keep an even keel, where it's like, I ain't gonna let that penetrate my spirit and then turn around and reciprocate that to other people around me, because it don't really matter.
Life be lifing. I'm gonna tell you that. Life be lifing. You know, we only have a few minutes left, and it's interesting. My entire life, I've never liked to cook.
Really?
And so I am loving cooking right now. It's so interesting. I was like, I cooked me some cornbread and it tastes good. You couldn't tell me nothing, right? And a pot roast. So it's I think in this moment, I'm kind of exploring parts of myself that I didn't kind of acknowledge, like the domestic side. Like,
You didn't tackle the greens yet, though.
I did some collard greens. I did some collard greens. And my 90-year-old auntie said that my greens were good. You can't tell
They
me
banging
nothing. Right. And I made it with turkey necks. Smoked turkey necks. So yeah, so I'm moving up. So I think that there's a space, kind of in this moment, us really thinking about what are some of the other things that remind us of our humanity and just being grounded and alive. What you doing, Cliff? What you been doing?
Sleeping,
resting.
Beautiful.
Resting, watching good shows and movies. That's my escape. Trying to deal with like some health issues. Like you talk about yoga, like getting into more yoga and stretching and other physical therapy, because like you said, the knees ain't operating the way that they used to. So just trying to now that's been over this break that we've had.
Right.
Now that we back at it.
Now we back.
The challenge is how do you sustain the stuff that you were able to do.
That's right.
When you on break or whatever, and sustain that even when we back at it. And so that's the challenge that I'm facing.
Right.
And I'm gonna need all of y'all to help keep me accountable and
I know
keep
that's
each
right.
other.
I got a question for y'all then about that, because what you said reminded me, it's either Angela Davis or Sada Shakur, but in the book she's talking about where she like, I wonder what I would have been if it wasn't for my commitment to this movement and my commitment to this work, because she says like once you learn about what's truly going on to your people, you either choose to be a coward and ignore it, or you choose to dive in head first. And she was just like, I wonder what I would have done if I wasn't in this movement for decades, and I spent decades doing this. She's like, I wonder if I would have been an artist, and I wonder if and I was just
I once upon a time, that really would have been my question. I don't know, I got a different feel around that now.
Really?
I really have a different, I don't think it's a zero-sum game. And I think even as people are listening to us, we gotta live. We gotta live while we fighting this stuff. We gotta live when the white folk acting crazy. We gotta live when they're trying to be racist. We gotta. I guess what I'm feeling before, I would feel like I could put life on hold. And after losing people in my life, after my health, like you, now I'm like, I should have done more stuff with my knees back in the day, right? I should have danced a little harder or something, break dance or something, right? My point is, I'm learning that this life where we are right now is not defined by the politics of the moment. It's defined by this time we got. And so what do we do with this time that we have? Like, how are we going to maximize this time that we have right now? I am learning that, how much I've taken for granted, right? Like putting myself in a box that, I'm an activist. And not saying I'm an activist and I got to put to the back that I'm a musician. No, I'm a musician, I'm a mother, I'm a lover, I'm an activist, I'm all of those things. And so I can own all of those things. So I'm like at this space now that I want to own that, and there's parts of me that I want to explore. And so I know we only have a couple of minutes, and I'm just wondering, maybe that's it. Maybe we end it with that. Maybe we at least end this conversation around, like, what do you see for yourself? Each of us, like, what do we see for ourselves, like, going into this next phase? Because I think everybody asking that question. I think we're all asking this question, like, what the hell am I doing? We're looking at our jobs, we're looking at our home life. We like, what am I really doing? And so aside from, I don't just exist in a movement, I exist in the world. And so if I am putting myself in that space around my existence in the world and who I am right now, like, what do you want for yourself this year?
What I want for myself, I just want to exercise patience with myself,
Okay.
and that's it.
Exercise patience with yourself.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Because you deserve that.
Yeah.
you deserve that. What about you, Sabre?
I would say I just want to continue to enjoy being like, what you're talking about to me is just like being a human being. And
Right.
that's like, I don't know if I ever told y'all, but I always say like, the last 5 or 6 years of my life are like the first time I really been human for real. Like it's just like this the first time I really been able to be passionate, and I ain't been working 2 and 3 jobs and trying to do a bunch of nothing basically. Like versus where now it's like I could be passionate about certain things and I don't feel like, that black male stigmatism where it's like, oh, you can't be passionate, you can't show emotion, you can't. And I done kind of got away from that over the last 5-6 years, and it's just been a beautiful experience to, like you said, to just
That's
whatever,
so powerful.
man, whatever space I'm in, I'm just in that space.
I'm
Like
just in that
today,
space.
if I wake up, I'm like, man, I'm relaxed. It's Sunday.
Right.
I'm about to go see my family, see my daughter or something. Like, just like, we ain't doing too much today. Like, I don't want to be, everything's not for sale. Certain things, certain hobbies. If me and my family in here singing, and it's, oh, man, you need to drop an album. No, I don't. I just want to sing with my people. Like, I just love being human now. And I'm like, I'm not going back to that robotic mind state of figuring out, you know, how I can exploit people or how I can exploit a system. Or it's just like, I don't feel it no more. And I can't turn it off. Like, it's just like, no, I'm
If
not.
I would have a title for this episode is Love Being Human. That's a powerful word. That's a little word you gave us. I don't know if I had nothing to share after that. Like, that's a powerful word. Like, I'm with you.
I appreciate it.
And that's what we want, you know, out of these discussions that we having on this podcast, is that, you know, we just want to dive into, we want to love being human. We want to question what it means to be human, expose the vulnerabilities of being human and being in this movement. Because like you said earlier, like being in movement is not just what people see, like, you know, on TV or whatever. There's a lot.
Yeah.
We're all humans, right? And you know, everybody watching this is having some of the same questions.
That's right.
Feeling some of the same stuff. So what we want for all of you to get out of this podcast is to see that you are not alone, and that you matter, because Black voters matter.
That's right.
365.
Be human.
Oh, sure.
All right.
Appreciate you.
That was a powerful word. All right. Come on, y'all.
Hey.